and we should be live. So hopefully everything will start in a second here. Yeah, I think we are live. So we'll give it a second here for anyone to swing on by. How's everyone doing today? What's up, Eric? Who are you rooting for the Super Bowl tomorrow, man? What's going on, Chivalry? So today's probably going to be a much more relaxed stream than last week. Last week we upgraded the hot end on the Monoprice Mini, and it wasn't easy. It wasn't difficult really either. It just a lot of the screws that were supposed to fit into place didn't fit into place. I had some issues getting the belt back on, and then I had some issues with feeding, but luckily everything went smoothly. I've been printing Patriots. Gross. I mean, I'm not a fan of either of the teams, but I don't like the Patriots. They've won so many, and they've been in the Super Bowl so many times that I don't know. It's not exciting for me. I want Falcons. My team's the Steelers, but we didn't make it, so Falcons all the way, man. But yeah, I've been printing for the last week with this new E3D style hot end in the Monoprice Mini, and the quality has been just absolutely amazing, guys. I highly recommend this upgrade. One, I've noticed a bit of definite increase in quality, and the one thing that I was really going for more than quality was actual strength. And I printed something that I've been printing with the default or stock hot end, and when I printed it with the new upgraded hot end, it was at least twice as strong, if not even stronger. So I don't know whether it was just my Monoprice's stock hot end that for some reason had issues, that things weren't printing as strong as I'd like them to be. All I know is that this definitely fixed it, and it's really nice having the easily changeable tips. So yeah, I'm really happy with the end result. And as far as future upgrades, in this video obviously we're going to be 3D modeling and replacing the default little dial. There's already quite a few, or at least like 2, maybe 3 on Thingiverse, but I figured I'd do my own little version of it for fun, and that way if anyone wants that one, they can definitely, my phone is going off, then they can use my version of it, or maybe for those of you that have never touched 3D modeling at all, this will be like a fun way to kind of see what it's all about. Granted, I'll let you know right now that I am no expert with 3D modeling. I've had about 6 months worth of experience with it, just playing around, and I've definitely come a long way, but there is so much more for me to learn. So yeah, I figured it'd be just kind of a fun thing to do. We can hang out and build this. And the only other real upgrade that I think I'm going to be doing to this printer is I have heard that the aluminum build plate over time kind of bows and isn't completely flat. And I have not had an issue, I will say, up to this point with the aluminum build plate. It's been fantastic. It doesn't stick quite as well as I think glass does, but as long as I'm doing a coat of hairspray every couple layers, then it's still been really good. And as soon as the bed cools down, you can hear the prints popping off, which is awesome. However, I did go ahead and I picked this guy up. This is actually just a piece of glass from a don't spill my soup, that would be terrible. From this guy, which was basically a $2 picture frame that I picked up at Walmart the other day. and it's 5 by 7 inches, which is a little too long. 5 by 6 inches would have been better. But if you see, it's only sticking out a tiny little bit on each end. So originally I was going to try to cut the glass down to size, but I don't really have any experience cutting glass. I was looking up some like YouTube videos on how to do it, and I've cut acrylic before, which is, you know, a lot different. You basically just use this kind of like acrylic. It's like a kind of like a blade, but it's not sharp. I mean, it doesn't hurt to touch. But you kind of use this to indent in the acrylic, and you know, back and forth, and then it'll just kind of snap if you put it on a flat end, while glass is definitely a different ball game. So I'm thinking about just using this sheet of glass just like this, and maybe putting some of like these type of things, these little clamps or clips on the ends, because again, it's not like it's sticking out hugely or dramatically or anything like that. So that might be something I'll do next week, for anyone that is interested, you know, in replacing their bed or adding the glass bed. I got to do a little bit more research, because I know that there is some people are saying that you need to change the Z end stop so that way it doesn't go down quite as far and dig into the glass bed, which is a possibility that we might need to do that, but we might be able to just tighten the screws. Now we probably will have to actually adjust the Z end stop just a little bit, but this glass is pretty thin, so we'll see how it works out. It'll be interesting to see whether it's simple or not to do. But then, yeah, that's probably all I'm gonna do in terms of upgrades for right now. I had like one or two kind of on the back burner, but this thing is just printing so well that I don't really see a need to do anything else. I mean, one thing that I would like to do is basically add a fan to the actual electronics. But I don't know. I don't really think that it's something that you have to do. I like adding fans to the electronics on all of my 3D printers, like all the ramps boards and stuff like that, because they get so hot. But I don't know. I mean, it might be something I'll do down the line, but I'm also a little concerned with the power supply. I've already added a additional fan to it, which is right here. Basically, I've got two fans now, one on the extruder and one that's cooling the first layer, which is awesome. But I don't want to draw too much power from this stock power supply, because I've heard that it's not exactly the best of power supplies. So I might wait to add an additional fan to the controller board when this power supply like dies down. You know, and I have to replace it with a different one. Then at that point, I'll probably go ahead and do that. But for now, I think I'll just leave it like that. Hey, what's going on, Will? Basically, in this video, we are going to be 3D modeling this dial, but our own version of it that sticks out a little bit further, because a lot of people don't like the default dial. It wasn't too big of a deal to me, but I figured, heck, it's kind of a fun project we can do, and you know, we can model it together and see how it turns out, and then we'll print it so you guys can see, because I didn't really get to print too much with this E3D style hot end, at least not on my last week's stream. So that way we can do that in this video, and you guys can see, you know, how well it does indeed print. So yeah, I guess we'll just go ahead and get started here. Let me go ahead and move this guy over here, and go ahead and share my screen with you guys. Last screen, there we go. So this is actually, if you guys are here, you get to see a sneak peek of my next video. Basically, this was something I was working on last night. So I live with my best friend, his wife, and his two kids, and my godson, who is his firstborn, that's 2 years old. The other night he woke up and found him under the sink in the kitchen with all of like the chemicals pulled out, and he was like pouring soap on the ground, which is obviously not good. Luckily, you know, that was the extent of what he did, but they'd asked me if I could print out some kind of a cabinet lock. And so last night I spent like 15 minutes just throwing this together real quick as like a beta or prototype, and essentially it was going to go, this side was going to go over one of the cabinet knobs, and then you would use a zip tie to basically feed through and lock this around it, and then this side would just snap on to the other cabinet knob. That way it couldn't be opened and closed. But I printed it once, and it was so far off from what I wanted that I decided to just check on Thingiverse and see if anything already existed, because they wanted it kind of like right away. And I found this guy, which I printed out, and it's amazing. It works so well. So basically it just slides over the both knobs, and it's got this little kind of lock, if you will, that slides over these ribs right here, and it locks it into place. So that's actually going to be my next video, kind of practical 3D printing, because I get a lot of people that don't really understand 3D printing, or even people that do, and a lot of them like ask me, you know, can you actually make anything useful with a 3D printer, or do you just print a bunch of doodads? And granted, I do print a bunch of doodads, but there is also very useful applications. So I figured this was a really good example of, you know, some time or something that you can do with a 3D printer that is really useful, and you know, it works beautifully. So it took about 15 minutes to print, and now the cabinet is secured. So yes, that's pretty cool. So anyways, let's go ahead and start up a new design here. We're basically going to be using a combination of we're going to use my calipers. For those of you that want to get into 3D modeling for any kind of like practical use, you definitely need to get one of these digital calipers. I picked this one off of Amazon. I want to say it was like $20 or so. Let me see. But I've used it a ton over the last year or so here. This is the one I got actually. Oh, not even 20. It's, yeah, only $16 with same day shipping or same day delivery. So I'll place a link in the description for anyone that like tunes in after and is interested. But I highly recommend this one. I mean, it's got really good feedback. The price is extremely fair, and I haven't had to do any like recalibration with it or anything like that. It just works. It's still on the original battery, and I've used it a ton for all sorts of different projects. So yeah, so it's really cool. But let's go ahead and get started here. So basically what I'm thinking is I am going to be so easy. It's so hard to explain. I have it pictured exactly in my head. So we'll just go ahead and get started, and then I can explain to you guys as I go along what I'm planning. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to measure the diameter of this circle, which is 29.68. So we're going to go ahead and make the circle just 29, because with 3D printing, usually there's a little bit of an offset, especially because I don't print at typically I don't print at 0.1 layer height. I usually print at like 0.3, maybe 0.2, sometimes even 0.4. So there's usually a little bit of offset. It's not exactly like the 3D printed plastic won't end right there. It'll kind of overlap a tiny bit. So typically when you're 3D modeling for 3D printing, you've kind of got to keep that in mind, that although your dimensions and stuff might be perfect in your software, once they're actually extruded in the real world, they might not be exactly the same. What am I trying to say here? They might not be the exact same dimensions. It'll probably be a little bit off. So I typically do things just a hair smaller. For a while when I was modeling a lot more often, I kind of had a formula in my head to where like I knew exactly how much I had to offset my measurements. Right now I'm just kind of doing a little bit of a guessing game. But with the dial, I think it's going to be perfectly fine the way I'm doing this. And so then we're going to go ahead and I'm going to actually use my calipers to try to measure the little nub that's inside of the Monoprice. Let's see. So roughly 5.8 5.89. So we're gonna do a circle of about 6. I do want this one to be a really tight fit in the middle, because it does need to grip onto the little control dial knob, but we'll try that first. Okay, so we've got that. So I'm gonna go ahead and extrude this whole shape. Let's do, okay, so if the dial is by default, roughly 7, we're gonna do about double. So we're gonna extrude it at about 14 millimeters. So we've got our little dial shape here. And what I'd like to do, let me turn on that sketch again. What I'm gonna do is actually shell the bottom of this. So if I go, where is shell? Modify shell. Okay, so let's go ahead and make this. Let's see, how thick do I want to make the dial? I want it to be, I mean, I don't want it to be super flimsy. I've never seen the process. Oh, cool. Yeah. Like I said earlier, I think right before you came, I'm by no means a professional 3D modeler or anything like that. I have been 3D modeling on and off for the past 6 months, mostly just for, well, for various things. One, I 3D model things to sell. 2, I 3D model little upgrades here and there for my printers if needed. So I've had, like, I've at least had some practice with it, and I mean, I've got a long ways to go. Some people, go to college and, work in a profession where you're 3D modeling and using CAD software constantly. Well, my experience is basically, watching YouTube videos, tutorials, trial and error and stuff like that. But yeah, hopefully you'll learn a thing or two. This software I'm using too is called Autodesk Fusion 360. I believe I know it's on, obviously on Windows. I believe it's on Mac as well. I don't think they have it on Linux. But it's 100% free for students as well as, I believe, hobbyists. So definitely recommend this program. It is a very pretty easy to use and feature rich program. So yeah, if you do want to take a dive or dabble with it, it's definitely a solid program. Okay, so let's do at least a shell of 2. We'll do a shell of 2. Perfect. And then it looks like I want to extrude this guy upwards. So basically, this is the little knob that actually connects the dial. So we're gonna extrude it, and you can do distance, or I'm sorry, to object, and you can click the roof of that, and it will connect. So now we've got that right there. And then similarly to how we just did the shell, which basically took that, when you make a shell, it basically takes a solid object and makes a hollow out of it, which is really cool for making cases and stuff like that. So we're gonna do the same thing with this dial, this little connector piece right here. So we're gonna go ahead and click on it, right click. Normally there's a shell option right here, which I don't know why it's not there. So we'll click there, and we'll go modify shell. And instead of going inside, because this is the exact size we want for the knob, we don't want to cut into that. So we're gonna go ahead and switch this and go outside. And so on the outside, you know what? The reason why it's see how it's making the whole object larger? It's because I goofed. So we're gonna cancel that. When I did this, when I extruded this little guy and made it connect with that, I had join on, which basically made this object that I'm extruding and this big object 1. So when I'm trying to shell it, it's trying to shell both of them. So if I do new body, it'll be an independent shape. So now basically, if you look here, I can turn on and off, so it shouldn't affect the rest of it anymore, because we don't want this to get any bigger. It's the perfect size right now. So let's go ahead and modify shell. Then again, we'll do outside. We don't want to go inside, and we'll do 2. Perfect. That's probably even a little too, I mean, we can do it thinner if we wanted to, but we might as well just go ahead and do that. And then if you look at the little dial, you can see that the part that actually connects, I don't know how you can see that, but the part that actually connects to the dial on the Monoprice, it sticks out a little bit more than the rest of it. So what we're going to do is we are going to see how much more it sticks out. Best way to do that is probably going to be we'll have it stick out roughly 4 millimeters. Looks about right. So we'll go ahead and just extrude this. Oh, turn my sketch off. There we go. Extrude you. Go 4 more. That way it's a little bit offset, just like the dial is. Okay. So then what I want to do is a couple of things. I would like to, for one, I want to kind of make it, how do I want to do this? Well, because the thing is, with the dial, I don't want it to be smooth, obviously. I want it to have some kind of a grip on the outside. That way, if you grab it from the outside, it won't be completely smooth. And so there's a lot of ways to do it. I'm just trying to think of the easiest way to do it. Because I think I can do, let's see if I go just like 2-point rectangle. That's not right. Let me check out one thing here real quick. Let's turn off this first body and go back to our sketch. So I think that I should be able to should be able to edit this sketch. So I want to see if I can do something like it might be easier for me to make the pattern beforehand. So basically what I'm going to do right now is try to create the kind of outside that I want, so that way when I extrude it upwards, instead of having that smooth shape, I'll have like a I don't know, just a rectangles essentially on the outside that you can grip onto. It'll make sense. If it doesn't make sense in right this second, then just hold tight and I promise you it will. go. Okay, so if this is, I want to do 45 degrees. Okay. Then we'll do another one. Perfect. Do another 45 degrees. Oh, you know what? I goofed. I don't actually want, there we go. I don't want it to go through the center circle. So what I'll do is I'll make 2 of them. We'll go 45 degrees. $45. Oops. That way I can delete this guy. You'll see that with like 3D modeling, especially when you're doing stuff that's not like creative. If you're doing creative 3D modeling, it's different because you're usually using like meshes and stuff like that instead of sketches like this. But with 3D modeling, most of the time, you're literally spending your time just creating all the rules and measurements, and the actual time you're spending with the 3D model is pretty slim. It's mostly just this, and then in the end you'll extrude it and you'll have your end result. But yeah, once we actually do this part right here, we'll be pretty close to getting it going. There's one more thing I want to add once I get the little cross section. Trying to think, how many lines do I want? I'll do this at about 25. So it'll be like that. But we definitely still need to do some more lines. I'm at least gonna cut these 45 degrees in half. So we'll do 45, 22.5. So 22.5 degrees. You there, perfect. Oh, I screwed up. Shucks. 22.5. Bam. 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 That does not feel straight because it's not. So this one should be, if that's 45 and that's, it should be 90, but it's not. So 45, we'll just do plus 22.5. So what is that? 45 plus 22 is 67.5. 67.5. Perfect. If anybody's got any questions at all, feel free to let me know, because I mean, point of doing this together is to, well, one, get feedback from you guys, but two, I'm definitely here to try to help if there's anything, anyone's got any questions at all. What did we do on this one? It was, we said 45 plus 22, so we did 67.5. 7.5. In all honesty, with this, I don't have to measure out everything perfectly, because it's a dial. I could like probably eyeball it and it'd be fine. I'm really only doing this so that way it's exact, but it's totally not needed at all. Have you thought about getting a mechanical engineering degree? Yes, 110%. I just completed my 2-year. Well, I was at a community college for a very long time, and I completed my 2-year probably like a year and a half ago or so, which was like 5 years in. And I really wanted to get my engineering degree, either in electrical or mechanical. I just got really burnt out on school and got really tired of my community college, and I don't know, I just decided not to. I would love to get my degree. I don't know if I'll be able to, in terms of like trying to balance, you know, school and making some kind of an income and stuff like that. I don't know, but yeah, I would absolutely love to, just so that way, granted, I can teach myself. Like, most of the stuff I know is self-taught. It's 3D printing and electronics and 3D modeling and stuff, but I would like to have some kind of structure or curriculum, so that way I'm learning things in at least a kind of like building block manner, versus just, you know, learning different things through YouTube videos and trial and error and stuff like that. But you know, for now it is what it is, and I've been having a lot of fun with it, and I've learned a lot over the last, you know, 5-6 years of tinkering. So hey, what's up, Mod Shop? How's it going, man? Thanks for stopping by. I actually subscribed to your YouTube channel, but I saw that most of your videos are just like RGH product videos, stuff like that. Will says, what is the longest time you've spent working on a 3D model? Because I'm very impatient and I like to finish things in one sitting, I think the longest I've actually worked on a 3D model was for about 6 or 7 hours straight. Yeah, some of the longer ones I've 3D modeled was, I 3D modeled a gold gun that took a while. I 3D modeled a calibri, which is like a tiny little pistol from, well, it's a pistol in real life, but it became popular, or people were like kind of crazy about it from the Battlefield 1 game that came out, and so I 3D modeled that. That was a very long one, and I also, those are actually some of my longer ones. It took a while. I did this companion cube. I'll show you guys real quick, actually. This one took a little while. It was just a lot of rules and stuff like that. Hopefully it'll open up. There we go. So yeah, it's like a Portal companion cube inspired one. It's obviously not like an exact replica of the companion cube. Well, I was trying to make it easy to 3D print, and with the way I did it, not having these things like stick out too far, it made it really easy. But this is actually I need to print this, so I'm gonna make a YouTube video out of it shortly, but it's a Raspberry Pi case. So I made the standoffs, and you've got your slots for like power, HDMI, I believe that's audio, micro SD card slot, and then Ethernet, and then dual USB. So this one took a while just because if you look at the sketches, it's a lot of sketches. Like I turn off the bodies and just put on the sketches, so you can see how many sketches I worked with. Creating all these rules for the sketches. Yeah, so this basically is what makes the cube. It just took a while. This was a couple hours, easy. I'll turn off the sketches and turn that back on. So we got that one, that took a while. Some of the longer ones too. I made an X carriage for a 3D printer. I was trying to upgrade a 3D printer, and it worked out. I'm gonna make a video on that too, actually. That's on my bucket list, but I'm gonna end up tearing this printer apart and rebuilding a 3D printer that I actually want from the ground up, because of the frame of this printer. It's wood. It was difficult to work with. I could only do so much, but yeah, basically this is for a 3D printer. It's got like the LM8U bearings to go in there, and then you got zip ties. Should be holes for zip ties. Yeah, zip tie holes that go through and lock the bearings in. Then this is a hole for the extruder or the hot end to go through. And then you got a mount for, this is for a stepper motor carriage. And then these holes are for a screw that you essentially attach the belt to. So this one took a while. More so because I had to put a lot of thought into it in terms of like how it was all going to function, since this is actually a mechanical, you know, not mechanical necessarily, but it is moving. I mean, it's going to be moving back and forth along the x-axis, and yeah, I mean, I kind of just modeled a bunch of different things: cookie cutters, spinner stuff. I made my girlfriend it's like a keychain. Let's see if it'll load. Yeah, this is actually, it's the model, the end one looked better, but it's actually like a portrait of her dog. She's in love with her little dog Monkey, so I made her a little, I took like basically a picture in Photoshop, outlined it, and then turned it into a 3D model and extruded it and turned it into a keychain. So that was a fun project. That was actually a lot of fun. Then we got some more 3D printer parts that I made. But yeah, so a little bit of random stuff here and there. Though the biggest thing, I definitely need some more practice with this kind of 3D modeling, which is just like I don't know what the technical term is, but creating structures versus organic 3D modeling, where you're doing kind of like artsy stuff with meshes and polygons. I really want to get into that, because that I haven't messed with at all. I dabbled with it for like a second, but decided that I was taking on too much when I didn't even know how to do like this kind of 3D modeling first, which this is more mathematical 3D modeling versus you know, the other one, which is just making things that look cool, whether it's, you know, little Pokemon or figures for Dungeons and Dragons or video game or whatever. So, but yeah, that's a little bit about. My lines are totally not straight, but it's all right. So if this is 88, we'll just add, what are we doing? Adding 28.25. So wait, did I say 28? No, 22. 22.5. So it'd be 100.1, right? Am I wrong? No, that's totally wrong. That's 40. Oh wow, those measurements are so off. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and just eyeball this then. I'm kind of overdoing the exact on this. We'll just do one right about there. Oops, I screwed up again. I need to go from here. So we'll do one right about there. We'll do one. Man, how did I goof this so hard? Okay, I'm gonna just eyeball the lines in because my math was obviously off. So we'll just go back to where, oops, I want to keep that one. Okay, those two are straight, so we'll do those. Then we'll work off those. Oops, not in the right button. Sorry about that, guys. It'll be a lot quicker now that I'm not trying to actually make the spaces 100% on par, because it just really needs to be a knob. It doesn't need to be exact by any means. So we're just gonna go literally, let's see, does that look? Say about right there. About right there. About right there, maybe. Do one. That's about right there. Because the thing is, this knob is so small too that once it's printed, even if they are offset by a hair, you're not gonna notice. It's a freaking control dial. One right there. One right there. One right there. One right there. It'll all fall together in a second too, guys. Just wait. Just wait. Okay. So now I'm basically going to extrude. Oops. And we're just going to do every other. How far do we want to do it? How far was this? I remember I went. Oops. We ended up going double of this. So. Okay, so this was about 7. So I think we did 14 maybe. Sound right. Distance 14. Hey, see what I'm saying, guys? It looks a lot better. And what we can actually do, you know what? I think I'm going to do one thing differently though. So let's go ahead and go back to here. Oops, stop that sketch. That's definitely the look I was going for, like an actual knob. Granted though, like I said, they're a little offset, especially these two are kind of bigger. But I don't think you'll notice it much. And I could always modify it a little bit my own so it looks better. Digital caliper's best tool I have sitting on my desk. Oh yeah, I was just talking about that. I think I was talking about it before you showed up. But just how freaking amazing they are, dude. Okay, so let's actually change up our plan again. So let's go. Because I want to extrude all of this. Okay. Extrude 14. Okay. There we go. Because I want to. Is that the right height? That looks right, right? Hold on, I want to make sure that I'm not covering this hole up at all. No, we're good. Okay, so we'll shell this again on the inside, and we'll do, I think we did 2. Cool. Okay, so now that's like that. And then we can go back to our original sketch. We're actually going to delete, which body is it? This one. We're going to delete this body real quick because I want it to be hollow on the inside to save plastic. I always try to make sure that I don't waste any plastic, really. Oops, I clicked repeat here. There we go. Okay, so again, just every other, and every other. We're gonna extrude, do these bad boys, 14, perfect, there we go. Oops. Okay, so now I'm liking what we got. However, I do sort of want to make these a little bit more accurate if I can. If any of these look extremely big, we'll offset them just a little bit. Okay. So we'll make you a little bit bigger. At least I want it to be noticeably. Okay. We'll do this one a tiny bit too. Press pull. You go to the top. Oops. Alright. It's so small that again I don't think we'll notice it. We're only noticing it right now because it's freaking zoomed in on the knob. When you look at it, the whole knob is going to be like this tiny. Is the nub on the printer where the knob connects keyed so it only fits in a certain position? It is like, so it's basically got, I'll show you in a second, man. Let me, it does have like a little like grooves around it, so I may have to put some kind of texture inside of here to make it grab. However, I did look, and I think that as long as I created it where it's tight enough, once it pops it on here, it'll be a tight fit, so you won't have to do that. But time will tell. But yeah, I'll show you. Let me show you real quick. Off screen. Okay, so it's basically, you can't even really tell, but yeah, it's basically got like a flathead line across it, which the stock knob didn't take advantage of that at all. It's just a hole, but on the outside of here it does have kind of like a grain to it, which makes it where it looks like in here they put like 1 or 2 little dots inside here, so that basically it grabs onto it. So we may do that, but I think I'll just try it like this at first and see if that works out, because it should be a really quick print, so I'm not too concerned with like having to, you know, revise it. Oh yeah, we were gonna press and pull. Yeah, I'm pretty okay with that. Okay, so the one last thing I want to do actually is I wanted to create, if I can do this. Well, first we'll go ahead and turn this sketch off. Let's go ahead and combine all of our shapes. Join, oops, join. Cool, so now it's all one solid object. And then we are going to go ahead and I want to create just a little circle. Let's see. So we'll create it off to the side, maybe like right here. We'll say, what do we want to do, about 6? I'm trying to think how big that is. That's pretty small. Just do like 8. Bam. Cool, we'll do that. And I'm actually going to extrude it downwards, -1. I kind of want a circle on it. I don't know if, does that make sense? Like, hopefully that makes, let me make it actually a little bit more off to the side, like, I'll do it. Just so in case that way you actually want to stick your finger in the dial, you know, you have that option to. Maybe it's a dumb idea. I can upload both versions, but I like it. I like it. Oh shit. Yeah, it just grips. That's all it is. There's not like a specific shape really or anything. Okay, so -1. I don't even know if I'll be able to play this. Oops, fucker. Okay. Hey. It might not be able to print that because it's gonna be flat. We try it. We're gonna try it. Like I said, it's gonna be a pretty quick print, so we'll give it a go. But yeah, we'll just try it like that, and then I'll be able to figure out a couple things. One, whether it's able to print that. I think that because that's hopefully not more than like a 45-degree angle, it should be able to do that. I'm just not really sure about this part, how well that's going to turn out, but we'll give it a shot. If not, we'll remove that and just have the knob part like how it is, and then we'll also find out whether this this part's going to grip hard enough or not. So let's go ahead and import this into Repetier. Yeah, I really like being able to spin the dial with my finger. So hopefully it'll print. It's only sticking up by 1 millimeter, so it's gonna be like the tiniest. You know, I'm hoping it'll work. We'll see. Okay, let's go ahead and make this full screen. We gotta rotate our object about 90. Nope, wrong way. -90. Perfect. Looks good. Okay, then we're gonna go ahead and slice it. It does not need to be solid, really. We'll just do 20% infill. I could make some cross supports, just like how the stock dial has, but we'll print it how it is, and then we'll see what we need to do. It's the beauty of 3D printing, is that for at least small things like this, rapid prototyping is beautiful. How long is this gonna take to print? Literally 17 minutes, guys. That's not long at all. So we'll save it to file. We're gonna call it mini dial. Perfect. And then I'm gonna go ahead and pop in my little USB adapter. There we go. Desktop mini dial. Drag you over here. Go ahead and eject you. Perfect. I lost you guys. I can't see where the stream is. There you are. Okay, so let's go ahead and change up the camera to the 3D printer so that way we can get this going here. Let me go ahead and put the micro SD card back in its spot. And then we will go print. We will go mini dial and let the magic happen. We got some time to kill. Overall, I really like this dial. As long as it goes the way it's, supposed to go. I'm very happy with it. It's got the grip on the outside, which is a lot nicer than this because one, this one is smooth on the outside, and two, this one is so far down. Well, this one you'll actually be able to grip on the outside, and then it's got how this one has like little bumps on the top. This one's got the little finger hole. So yeah, if it works out, I do really like it. Yeah, dude, my fucking desktop's a mess. Hey, what's going on, Paisky? Yeah, I just gave so we built my buddy's wife's brother his first gaming PC, and he didn't get an SSD because he was kind of on a budget, and I had an extra 120 gig SanDisk that was my old primary hard disk, and we popped it in his new desktop, and when we were trying to install Windows, it originally booted into the desktop, and I had been running dual screens, and so since he just had it on one screen, all of the files were condensed into that one screen. It looked insane. Like, it was just so nasty. It was so nasty. I really do need to do like a I really do need to do a mass binge cleaning of everything. Hey, what's going on, Chuck? Are you using transparent plastic so LEDs can shine through? I'm not right this second. For this one, I just have black plugged in. I'm not sure that this is going to be the final version. I'm kind of just printing it to see if I need to make any corrections in terms of dimensions and stuff like that. But that's definitely not a bad idea. I can hook up. I've got, I don't have transparent, but I have, I guess, semi-transparent glow-in-the-dark PLA, so I could probably hook that up and that would look really cool. I mean, you'll still be able to see the LEDs around the outside of it, but yeah, that would be pretty neat. One thing I wanted to do for fun was actually swap out the LEDs. I think they're just little like SMD LEDs, like similar to what's on like Xbox controllers, and I have a ton of them. I could be wrong, actually. Are they full-size LEDs? I think they're tiny LEDs. I don't know. I haven't pulled off the front panel to see. But yeah, so this is what we have got going on so far, Chuck. Let me see. So it's got what I wanted, which is, the outside is, first off, it's extended, so it sticks out now. It's also got the kind of like gear style or shape to it, so that way you can grip it from the outside. And then I put a finger hole, so that way if you are like me, kind of, you can just, stick your finger in the hole and spin it around like that. So kind of got both options. The only things I'm not sure of is, one, whether, because I don't have any kind of grid on the inside of this, I just made it a really tight fit, so I'm hoping you just pop it on essentially and it'll be fine. I'm not sure if that's going to work. Time will tell. And I'm also not sure how this is going to print, since I'm printing it on its back. I think it'll be able to print the curves okay, since that's only a 45-degree roughly angle, I believe. I'm just not sure with this bit right here whether it's going to be able to do that kind of bridging. So we'll see. Time will tell. It is only a 15-20 minute print, so it's not too big of a deal. I can easily just kind of alter it and go from there. But the E3D style hot end on this thing is insane. I've probably printed this past 7 days like 5 hours a day, so I mean 35-40 hours minimum on this machine. And the main thing I'm noticing difference wise is, well, one, the quality is a little bit better, definitely, but the quality really wasn't bad before in terms of like layer resolution, but it is definitely a little better. I think that's potentially not necessarily due to the hot end, maybe more so due to the second fan, because before there was just, there's one fan dedicated to layer cooling as well as extruder cooling or hot end cooling. Well, now I've got one fan dedicated to the hot end and one fan dedicated, to the first layer. but the actual strength of my prints has increased at least like 50 or 60%. One thing that I commonly print that I was able to before, on this machine, if I squeeze it really hard, I can make it almost crack. I could hear it like kind of cracking and breaking apart. I'm gonna sneeze, I think. Oh, excuse me. Once I upgraded it, now I can't. When I squeeze it as hard as I can, it doesn't give it all. And I'm just using hairspray, Chuck. That's literally what I use for PLA, for ABS, for everything. That's what I've always used. I've had this same bottle of hairspray for probably 6 months. Suave Max Hold. Yeah, I just spray a coat or two every, I don't know, 4 or 5 prints. Or if I see a print that's not sticking, I'll, stop it and apply another coat. Yeah, most of the time I don't have to. I just have the bed at 60 degrees and it's printing PLA like a champ. I mean, it's just insane. I'm printing a replacement knob for the Monoprice Maker Mini, or Monoprice Select Mini. This is what we basically created right now, so we're printing it out to see how it fits and see if we got to edit it. Also, Chuck, though, I picked up for fun this little glass sheet. I was at Walmart yesterday and I found a little like 5x7 frame that was like $2, and I know that they sell glass beds specifically for this machine, but they cost a lot more because they're specific to this machine, or like someone is marketing them for this machine. And originally I was going to try to cut it, yet I don't really have the proper tools to cut glass, and I've seen you can do some kind of like homebrew methods. I just don't feel extremely comfortable cutting glass using a wire and stuff like that. So it only sticks out maybe a little over a centimeter on each side, and this side is perfect. So I'm actually going to try using this glass bed on here. I'm probably going to do a live stream next week. Today we'll do the knob, and then next week I'll potentially look into adding the glass bed. Again, I haven't been having any issues with the aluminum. It's actually sticking really well. Not quite as good as the glass, but still not, like, I'm not having issues. It's still really good. And it's popping off really easily once it cools down, which is nice. But I have seen, especially over at like the Reddit for this printer, as well as the Facebook group, certain people saying that the aluminum bed over time is gonna kind of bow and not be completely level anymore. And so it's kind of just like a future-proof upgrade to it, to make it where it's not gonna, that's not gonna happen or anything like that. Hairspray's never ABS in their hand, gotta go with the glue stick. I haven't actually tried glue stick in like 2 years because once I discovered hairspray, one, I don't print ABS very much, Mod Shop, but yeah, the hairspray just worked even for PLA for me. But again, the things I'm printing with ABS are relatively small, so maybe if I printed things bigger, then brain fart here. Yeah, then I might need it. Maybe it'll curl and stuff like that, but I haven't had any issues. Kieran does stuff. Yo, do you remember me? I think I do remember you. Weren't you here just last week? Your name sounds oddly familiar. You should be able to take the glass to Home Depot and have them cut it. Much safer that way. Oh, really? I didn't even think of that. Yeah, I could potentially do that. Well, I don't think I have a Home Depot here, but I've got a Lowe's. I'm sure maybe they've got the same kind of setup. It will just be a pain adjusting the bed if it covers. Yeah, that's definitely true. However, there's a couple things that I'm thinking of doing. Well, one, I really haven't had to. I've probably adjusted the screws on this thing twice since initially setting it up. So granted, yeah, it will be kind of annoying having to remove it and tighten the screws down, but it should only be every couple of days maybe if I'm printing on it heavily, because it's sticking really well. And one thing I'm debating doing is I'm actually gonna probably talk about this in a video, but for all of my beds, instead of using like the wing nuts or whatever they have, I've installed M3 locking nuts, And granted, it's kind of a pain in the ass initially to level it and put them into place, because you know you've got I use like my needle nose pliers and then the screwdriver on top or the Allen key. But once it's set in place, I really don't have to ever level my beds, almost ever. I mean, granted, there's exceptions, but because the locking nuts aren't backing out, even if you're prying things off the bed and stuff like that. So I got to look into these little metal things that are under the aluminum bed on here, but if I can remove one of them, I'm thinking of adding locking nuts on the underside of this aluminum, on the bottom side of this bed, so that could also make a pretty big difference, how do you print in high resolution without a cooling fan? How do you print in high resolution? It can be done, but if you're printing with PLA, you really should have a cooling fan. It just goes to show, like, I mean, this machine with that layer cooling fan, the quality I'm getting is insane. While some of my other machines that like don't have, and it's also kind of like hit or miss. My DaVinci, which is dead now, once I had upgraded it, I didn't have a layer cooling fan. And it printed really good, almost as good as my other printer with a layer cooling fan, while one of my other printers that doesn't have a layer cooling fan, it prints PLA like shit if the fan's not on. So it kind of depends on the machine too, but I definitely think with PLA, like, it's never going to be a bad thing to have airflow on that first layer, just to ensure that your prints are drying extremely quickly, and the layer adhesion's correct and everything like that. Especially if you're doing like really fine detailed stuff. If you're doing just like a block, I don't think it'll make much of a difference, but if you're doing details, then the layer cooling fan makes a huge difference. Okay, yeah, maybe I'll just swing by Lowe's then and see, because I just, like I said, I don't know, man, with glass, I can just see myself cutting myself on accident, and that's not worth it to save a couple bucks on the glass bed. Yeah, I was asking about my DaVinci Junior. Oh yeah, you were asking about doing the conversion, right? Because you saw that I had talked about the whole ramps Arduino conversion thing, and you said that you had a DaVinci that was screwed up. Man, the sunlight is coming right into my face. I might close my mini blinds. Hey, dude, great channel. Been a sub for a few months. Oh, hey, Steven. Thank you so much for the feedback, and I'm glad that you've been enjoying the channel, man. Did I miss something? When did the DaVinci die? The DaVinci died recently, man. I don't think I announced it on my channel. Hold on, I'm gonna close the mini blinds. I'll tell you in a second. Hopefully I didn't bump the printer too much. No. So yeah, the DaVinci died maybe 2 weeks ago now. It's been kind of on its way out for a while. It's been giving me thermal runway errors, and the temperature on it has been really inaccurate. Like, okay, so let's say for example I'm printing PLA at 205. Well, sometimes it'll shoot up, like, so when it's heating up, for example, it'll shoot up to like 230 and then shoot back down to like 195 and then shoot up to 210 and then 180. So like, it was, I'm not talking like a couple degrees Celsius, like it was sporadic. And then usually after a while, if it didn't air out at the beginning, it would print fine, like it'd print beautifully actually, once it made it past that initial time. But it's been doing that for a long time, and that's not, good at all. So yeah, that was an issue. And then I ran into an issue where the nozzle was starting to get clogged up, so I took off the default nozzle and and saw that it was a special nozzle. It wasn't like a one you can just swap out. It was the Pico hot end, so it wasn't like, one of the common J heads or an E3D style. It was like the Pico, and I think that the heating element was going bad in it, which makes sense. It's been, a year and a half. I've had to replace one or two before, But I couldn't figure out for the life of me how to replace the Pico's heating element. Like, it just, it didn't seem like it was replaceable in that hot end, which is really strange. But I tried installing a J-head style extruder in the machine, and I had to create like a custom bracket for it, and I just kind of like got annoyed with it and said to hell with it. And I don't remember what else went wrong with it after that. So the thing is, I could probably easily fix it in a sense if I wanted to dedicate a day to it, but I'm kind of at a standstill with it as to whether I want to. I don't know. I'm basically like, I'm trying to just get and use printers that I'm actually going to get and use, because they take up so much room and I don't have a workshop or anything like that. And it's like right now I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 currently, and I'm probably getting another printer very shortly here. So it's just kind of like, I can't have them all, and I'm at the point now where I just want printers that are working, as well as like one printer that is my toy printer, in a sense that like I just upgrade it and mod it and stuff like that, which I'm debating getting the Anit A8, because it's like $150, has a huge community behind it, and it would be just fun to do a ton of mods to. But yeah, with the DaVinci, it's just kind of an annoying machine, man. It's so closed off with like the plastic shell and stuff, which I get like goes with the whole looking nice thing, and it's quieter and stuff because it's enclosed, but it's a bitch to work on, just because the way the wires are routed and stuff without taking all the plastic off. So I don't know, man. I'm not sure whether I want to rebuild this Frankenstein up again, or whether I just want to say to hell with it and, you know, part with it. So we'll see. You could put a small sacrificial print, like a little Marvin to the side of the main print, if you don't have a cooling fan. Wow, that's a neat idea, Steven. I hadn't even thought of that. That's really cool. Yeah, that's true. Because instead of like the layer not getting cool quick enough, if you have it go off of the thing completely, granted it would make your print take longer, and it's not necessarily practical, but it's definitely like an option if that's, you know, what you got. I tried some 0.05 acrylic, and it works amazing as a print bed. Plus it's flexible, so easy to pop off prints. No shit, acrylic works for the print bed? Huh, I haven't really seen that too much. Well, I mean, acrylic is a form of plastic, though, no? Wouldn't it have, I mean, what's the melting point? That's interesting to me. Maybe I did see something about that, and I just thought that the guy said wrong. Because, I mean, acrylic would be easier to, you know, cut and work with. But then I don't think, though, acrylic would... I don't think it would make much of a difference then versus using that over aluminum, because I'm pretty sure acrylic, if it's able to flex, then that's kind of the reason why I'm putting the glass, is so that it doesn't flex. But it still could be a good bed adhesion material, I guess. Probably a broken wire harness and the temp sensor. The reason why I didn't think it was a broken wire harness and the temp sensor was because it was fine once it heated up, and it was also fine when it was at like room temperature. Like, I didn't see anything sporadic or changing ever when it was at room temperature. And to me, it seemed like maybe the heater element basically was just having trouble getting enough power, and then it was like getting too much power. So I don't know. It could have been one or the other, but I don't know. For me, it was pointing back towards the heating element more than the thermistor. But then again, it had the clogs going on too, and without being able to change the nozzle out, it was just, I don't know, it was annoying. I went on Pico's website, and they like discontinued their freaking the hot end that they had sent me a year and a half ago. They don't even sell anymore. I didn't see parts for it or anything. They have like a new Pico hybrid thing coming out, which is completely different. So we'll see. gear's looking, or not the gear, but the dial's looking pretty good so far. Yeah, I also wanted to originally install LEDs to this printer because I install LEDs to like everything. I wanted to install one set of LEDs on the underside of the X carriage, either right below, like on the bottomest part, or inside here above where the top of the extruder is. I've got LED strips that should definitely have enough. It should definitely have enough clearance to fit there. And I even wanted to put one inside here to make it like glow on the inside. I think it looks badass. I still think I might, but again, I think I'm gonna wait until the original power supply shits out on me, maybe like 6 months down the line, and then I'll get a better power supply. I just don't want to draw too much power off this power supply since I've already heard things about it. It's when the head moves that the wire intermittently breaks connection. I've seen it multiple times on my DaVinci. Well, I guess that's possible. The thing is, it's weird though, is that it would do it significantly on Pico V3. It did that when it was heating up too, though, when it wasn't moving at all. So I don't know. I mean, it's kind of past tense at this point. But I don't know what I'm gonna do with it. I don't know if I want to just strip all the parts out of it, or I don't think I want to sell the machine because it's literally like nothing. It's just a frame and random 3D printer parts that you'd have to put a lot of work into it. I don't think your average Joe would like want to do it, but I don't know. I don't know. It's also really big and hard to ship, so I could send you the heater cartridge. I'll have to dig around and find it, but it's around here somewhere. I don't even know if I have my Pico Hot anymore, Mod Shop. I'll get back to you on that, man. If I can end up finding it somewhere and I still have all the stuff for it, then possibly. But I don't know. I'm not really in a rush right now. Because again, I think that that 3D printer might need even more stuff to do, like to get it going again. I mean, the stepper motors are good. We'll see. We'll cross that bridge. Yeah, the DaVinci is like such a pain to work on. How many do you still have, Chuck? I know I saw your video where you swap out the sample files as like your workhorse, or not workhorse, but what'd you call it? Manufacturer machine? I don't remember what word you used, but I saw that, so I know you definitely have that one still. Do you have a couple more, or no? Did you just, is that you down to the last one? I was actually trying to pick up either a model, another Monoprice Mini just the other day, and they're sold out for a while. And then I wanted to get the Select V2, but I haven't really been seeing them on Monoprice's website too, because they have their new like Select Plus, which honestly I watched a comparison video and it doesn't really look that much better, but it costs like an extra $80, which is kind of annoying for a touchscreen that I don't care about, and just little upgrades that I could have easily done myself. So I'm hoping that they get more stock of it, and that the Plus is like an upgraded version and not, 5. Holy shit! For sure, I dreaded getting mine back up and running, so it sat for months. Wait, you did get it up though and running, right, Mod Shop? I feel like you just told me that. I'm sorry, man. One is reflashed in. Damn. Are they all DaVinci 1.0s or no? Because I know you had a DaVinci Junior. I know you had a DaVinci Junior, but I'm not sure if you kept that one or if that one was just like a temporary one that you were reviewing and then sending back. I can't really remember. That was a long time ago. Yeah, I'm super jealous though of you, Chuck, because you got your whole garage cave shop working area. It's like, it's what I want and what I need so bad, but so far I've got the corner of my bedroom. But the next place to move into once I move out of here, I'm gonna make sure I have either a spare room or a garage that I can turn into my laboratory. I'm not a fan of enclosed printers. I have one, but my next one, if this one ever breaks beyond repair, will be something like an i3 design. I print only in PTG or PLA. ABS is dead to me. I have not printed in PETG at all. And I've heard that it's fantastic. I've heard that it's really strong. I think isn't it comparable to ABS if in terms of strength? I don't know why I haven't messed with it. I guess I haven't had a use for it, which is why it took me so long to use like the wood filament I finally got, or PLA wood, and then I also finally got some TPU, which I'm printing with now. They all print ABS. I sell 2 1.0. Oh, okay, 2 1.0s and 3 1.0As. What was the main difference between those two? 1.0. You know what? Actually, I think I made a video on that. Aren't they pretty much the exact same thing, but the main board's a little different? Yeah, I made a video on it. Stupid. Yeah, I have a video at DaVinci 1.0 versus 1.0A printer comparison. Got you. I forgot, it's just been so long. It took me 25 years and 3 kids before I got my garage back, so I earned it. Yeah, I've got absolutely no argument on that one. Yeah, it's just awesome. It's rad. This is like there's plenty of space out there. Like I couldn't have 5 DaVinci printers, dude. Like they're just so massive. But yeah, I like Steven, I like open printers a lot more. The Monoprice Minis are exceptions because they're so cheap and they're so good that you know, I love them. like I've said when I got this one, I was like love at first sight. I love this printer so much. But yeah, other than that, like I love my Folgertech Prusa printer because it's open and it's easy to access everything. It's easy to do cable management. It's just so much nicer to work on. So yeah, I really want to either build the Folgertech FT5, which is a big ass aluminum open printer, or I have a Core XY printer that I found online that I'm interested in building, that because I'm going to completely strip down the Bob CNC machine, and this machine has a lot of good stuff. Like I've got pretty much brand new NEMA 17 motors. I've got end stops that are perfectly good. I've got a E3D Light 6. I actually bought a genuine one that I can use on that. So I've got a lot of parts. All I really need is the aluminum, smooth rods, and like build the actual build platform depending on what I go with. I don't know if I'll probably try to do a heated bed, so we'll see. But yeah, I've got my eyes on a couple. It's too many projects, man. I don't know if you've experienced or if you've got the same thing going on, Chuck, but got 1,000,001 things I want to do, but can't do them all at the same time. Any news on the G-Tech? Oh, I got the G-Tech working a while back, and then I stole parts from it. I stole the belt, and I stole one of the stepper motors from it, so it's doing nothing now. I'm probably just gonna strip it down too and just use all these printers for parts. I'm just gonna have like probably 2 Monoprice Minis, the Folgertech 2020, and then I'll probably get I don't know. I've got another machine is gonna be coming. I'm just not sure which one I'm gonna do yet, so we'll see. Or if I rebuild the DaVinci. I'm sick of all the clutter, guys. There's too much crap. Let's see, hotend is slightly different. Also has extra heat sink for PLA. Oh, okay. Got you. I'm glad I have my grabbing tools. We kind of need to rent those, so I can't go too crazy to set up. If I bought this printer, it would be good with no mods. Yes, it would definitely be good without any mods. Again, the only reason I even modified the hotend is because I need to print things that are extremely strong. At least a couple things that I print and sell, they have to be extremely strong. And I was having an issue with the stock hotend and strength. It's still strong, don't get me wrong, but I'm just saying like really strong. And so I've noticed I've got an increase in strength since I've upgraded. But other than that, yeah, the quality is freaking insane. Right out of the box. I mean, you got to level the screws and that's it. So I have two of them printing daily without mod. Oh, yeah, so that. If I buy this printer, yeah. Hey, chap, you got a new sub. Print's done. Yep. We'll see. We'll see how well. Yeah, that just pops right off. The dial part with the finger, I'm not crazy about. I may have to figure out something with that. See if you guys can see it. Let me see. Hold on. Let's see. Kind of. Yeah, but basically, it's got the lines that go across aren't bonded super well. It's not bad though, but it doesn't really. I feel like it needs to be even a little bit bigger potentially. But everything else feels really nice. I got a little bit of stringing going on the inside here, but let's see. Will this fit on? The moment of truth. Oh, let me turn it off first actually. A little bit nervous. Well, it seems like it's working. Let me see. Let me turn it back on. Yeah, I mean it works really well. And it's on there really solid. I mean, granted, I put a lot of pressure. I don't know if you could really see, but I did put a lot of pressure. Oops. So things I may change on it are I may make the, I don't know actually. I kind of like it. I could probably make it a little less tall, like maybe cut off a little bit of the length. Maybe just like 5 millimeters or so. It kind of feels like it doesn't need to be quite that tall. Thank you, Chuck. Yeah, I'm really happy with it. I like, because I wanted this like kind of dramatic gear feel to the outside. That way it's really easy to grab. And then it does have that hole if you do want to spin it like that. But I do wish that the hole was a little bit more, I guess a little bit more deep, so that way your finger would actually catch, because it doesn't catch super well. What I'll probably go ahead and do is I'll probably make a couple versions of this and upload them to the same Thingiverse file. Maybe I'll make like 3 or 4 different versions, that way people can print what they'd like. Like I can do one that's maybe this tall, one that's a little bit shorter, one with the hole. That's what I'll probably end up doing. But for my version, I think I'm going to definitely make it just a little bit shorter, and Um, what else do I want to do? A little bit shorter, then maybe I'll mess with that circle a tiny bit more. I think I might make it. I'm not really sure. I gotta think on it for a minute here. um, yeah, you're probably right. I will grab the sides more. It definitely feels more accurate if that makes sense. Like with the spinner, I mean, like you can feel the clicks a lot better. Well, that feels good. That at least this is essentially like it does what it set out to do off of our first try. Because for me, at least, a lot of things with 3D printing, I usually have to make one or two, revisions to before I'm content with them. But yeah, this turned out pretty kick ass. Let's see, which mods would you recommend other than replacing the knob and maybe the power supply for the Select Mini? Well, again, if you wanted to do it, you could do. Well, I did add some brackets or braces inside of the tower for the Z rods. My X axis was vibrating a little bit. It didn't really seem to affect print quality, but I didn't care for the noise, so I added some brackets. Maybe you gotta decide whether you want to do that or not, because I will say it wasn't the easiest upgrade. It's kind of annoying. I mean, the mini's kind of heavy, in all honesty, and the angle I had to hold them to get them in was a little bit annoying. But I'm happy that I did it, I guess, now, because it doesn't do that anymore. I mean, again, the hot end you can do if you want. It's a pretty cheap upgrade if you get J-head. I mean, you can find them for like $15. And maybe if you wanted to upgrade the bed, but I mean, really not much, man. It's a pretty solid printer, right away. So and what type of filament? I just used, I want to say it's just Hatchbox PLA. Yeah, Hatchbox PLA. That's what I've been printing with primarily exclusively. But they've been out of stock since like the holidays. And when I have seen it on Amazon, because that's where they have like, I don't know if they have a partnership with Amazon, but that's their primary outlet for sales. It's been like 30 or 40 bucks. And so I just picked up 3 spools from Monoprice. That'll be here this week, and they had like a deal, so I got like 3 1-kilogram spools for $54 out the door, shipped, everything. So that's a really good, deal. So do it natural PLA, then pause the top layer with black split finger, hold close blue. Maybe. I don't even have natural PLA. I'm just probably gonna do just my glow in the dark and just let it rock like that. I like the result with Laser. I used someone else's model. You've inspired me to spend more time with Fusion 360. Well, that's great to hear, James. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's nothing wrong with using other people's models. That's why they're out there. And earlier I showed an example of I was designing a child safety lock for a cabinet, and I kind of got lazy and needed it right away. And so once my first revision that I spent like 15 minutes on didn't go how I wanted, I just went on Thingiverse and found a model, and it worked beautifully. And I'm glad that it worked beautifully. But yeah, it's really nice to be able to make things for yourself, the way you want. And for me, if I get the chance, I like to do things myself as much as I can, because I learn a little more every time, in terms of the software and just getting practice with, I guess, 360 Fusion. And it's also a little bit of a pride thing when you do it yourself from scratch. And again, like, just 30 minutes ago, this was just an idea, and you drew it on here, and here it is in the real world, actually, you working, and that's a really cool thing. So okay, so Chuck's saying that the power supplies are better now on the Mini. So yeah, I don't know. I think that I asked in my last live stream last week, because there was quite a few Mini owners in there, whether they've had experience with bad power supplies or how long they've had theirs for. And I think that One guy said he's had his for 3 months, and one guy said he's had his for 6, and neither of them have had any issues. So that's very possible, like Chuck's saying, that that they've basically fixed whatever was going on with them. I just know that somewhere, because I do a lot of research and I'm always digging forums and seeing what people are doing with 3D printing and stuff. And so when I got really into this printer and I knew I was buying one, I started researching the crap out of it. And that's when I saw some, issues with power supplies. But if they fix it, that's awesome. Looks good and functional, man. Thank you very much, Steven. Matthias says, thanks, Chap and Modbot, for answering my question. Of course, thanks for coming and hanging out. Side question, what is your setup for the camera that is into the printer? I'm considering my option for something that ties into Octoprint and possibly streaming. Okay, so for streaming, it's pretty much the standard, I think, across the board is I'm using OBS on the computer side, which is, I've been using it for quite a long time, primarily for video games. It's big in the video game streaming network, yeah, so you can there's lots of plugins, there's lots of customizability. Setup is a little bit of a curve, but once you get it going, it's really simple. But yeah, essentially right now what I've got going on is, so I've got the one primary webcam up here pointing at my face. Like the bottom right corner that says 3D Print Love is just text overlay. You can overlay text. The chat is a plugin that basically works. It's got, like, someone else designed it. It's basically got all the CSS and stuff like that. And so when I'm going to stream, I take the chat and I pop it out. I grab its URL for that current chat and I throw it in the plugin, and it basically populates the feed. And this webcam over here I just picked up, so that way for the sake of streams I wouldn't have to move this webcam. I could have 2 different shots or angles. This is just a cheap Logitech. It was like the $30 one on Amazon, and it's actually just mounted to the top of a tripod, like a standard camera tripod. It fits right into the slot, and when I crank down the thing that tightens the camera, it moves right in beautifully. So it's really killer. I highly recommend checking it out. Again, it's gonna take some time to get all your settings set up properly, but it's fantastic, and you can stream to Twitch or YouTube or anything like that. And I mean, with the click of a button, I can switch to my left screen. It's insane. It's absolutely the most amazing free piece of streaming software. It's killer. So I gotta sneeze again, I think. My allergies have been on the fritz. Whew. But yeah, there's a lot of really good tutorials on how to use it and stuff like that. Jason says, I just got my mini printing. I printed the cat and just started printing the knob also. Any chances you could do a tutorial for Monoprice Mini Cura settings? I'm actually using 100% Repetier. I've used Cura in the past. It's been a while, but I can definitely attempt to do something like that in the next little bit here. I don't think I'm gonna go into it right now. I'm probably just gonna finish up this knob and get a couple more things done that I need to do, because I've got quite a few. I got another video to edit for YouTube and a couple other projects I'm working on. But yeah, I can definitely try to do something like that for you, Jason. It shouldn't be too difficult, really. Mod Shop, thanks for the sub. Oh yeah, of course, man. Yeah, I hope you do eventually some more projects. Like your portable N64 is really cool. I saw that freaking Ben Heck is doing the portable N64, which has me jealous, because that's something that I really wanted to do. Which it actually might be cool having him do it, so that way I can kind of look at how he's wiring up stuff and things like that, because that'd be a fun combination of 3D printing and gaming to make a portable N64 enclosure. Thanks for answering so many. Oh yeah, you're welcome, James. Thanks for coming and hanging out with me on this Saturday. I'm probably gonna start streaming once a week. I'll probably have some kind of a project lined up during the live stream, like how this one we did the knob. The rest of the time will be kind of just free time answering questions and stuff like that. I'm thinking about doing it Sundays. Sundays is typically, well, any day is really a good day for me, but Sundays is typically a really good day for me. The only reason why I didn't do it this Sunday was because of Super Bowl. I figured, well, one, I can't stream. There's like 15 people coming over here, my buddy's family and my girlfriend and brother and everyone, so I think Sundays will probably be it, but I don't want to confirm it like yet. We'll just kind of roll with it, and then once it's become a a thing week after week after week, then I can announce it and make it an official thing. But for now, that's the target. Could you do a separate video on your step-by-step of doing a print, like each step of the way? It's really simple. RM7. But yeah, I can definitely try to do something like that for you. That's not a problem at all. Chuck says, "Gotta go. Great stream. Thanks." Oh yeah, sounds good, Chuck. Thanks for hanging out too, man. It's always nice to see you popping in and popping out. And I'm still watching all your your content, stuff like that. So yeah, have a great weekend, and yeah, enjoy the Super Bowl if you're hanging out and watching it, man. Yeah, I've been wanting for him to do one for a while. I also plan on doing more projects. Business is just in the way of that at the moment, as I'm sure you can tell with my current uploads. Oh yeah, no worries, man. I get it, dude. Business first, and then the YouTube and projects is just fun stuff on the side. So, you gotta do what you gotta do. But yeah, Chuck's been doing. I like all of Chuck's projects. He's been doing a lot of stuff over the last little while here that's like pretty cool. But I like when he does his portable game console projects and stuff like that. Yeah, this stream does kind of show the whole process. Oh, what I put just hairspray. I showed it earlier. But yeah, I literally, believe it or not, I made a joke about it, but it wasn't a joke really. I literally stole this from my mom when I lived with her like a year ago before I moved out. It's just Suave Max Hold hairspray, but literally any unscented hairspray works absolutely amazing. I use it for PLA and ABS. Anyone can agree that it's great on PLA. Mod Shop is saying glue stick for ABS, and I know a lot of people do use glue stick for ABS. So, you can do that too if you'd like. But yeah, I don't know, guys. I think I might just kill the stream here and finish this up on my own and upload it to Thingiverse. I'll place links in the description for Thingiverse. If that's something that's this thing that you want to print, and if you got any questions, you can always comment. Thank you guys all so much for hanging out. One favor I always ask is if you enjoyed the stream, please go ahead and smack the like button, just to kind of help and share the stream. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to next stream. I've got 1 or 2 things lined up here. We're either going to be probably working on upgrading the bed on this printer, or we might be working on another project altogether. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. And then I guess I can answer a couple final questions here too. You said that in another video. How much do you spray on it? It's literally... Okay, so the way I explain it, man, you don't want to drench the bed. You basically... Let me see if I can... Dude, I'll just show you on this thing. Okay. So if this is a brand new piece of glass, like the bed. Let me see. Okay. I got this. I'll show you. I'm just going to put it on top of the Monoprice. Well, typically, you don't want to spray it. I don't actually want to spray it on the machine. I'm lying. Okay, let me see if you can see this. Okay, so you can totally see it. So, this is a brand new piece of glass, right? When you're first applying hairspray, I always say the first time or the first couple times, you want to do kind of a lot more just to get that base coat down. And once you've been printing for a while, then every once in a while you just kind of add one coat to it. But at the beginning, just because again it's not sticky at all and glass is fairly smooth and not sticky, you want to apply a decent amount. So essentially, this hairspray is kind of screwed up. It's really screwed up actually. But you just kind of want to make passes. So like I go back, forth, and then I'll let it dry for a little bit. And then I'll go back, forth, back. Again, let it dry a little bit more in between than I just did. But then give it another minute or two, maybe do 2 more passes. So a total of like 4 passes. And then you should be good to go. Especially if you heat up the bed at all, it'll make the hairspray dry really nicely. And then again, every couple prints after that, you can just apply 1 more coat across the whole thing. But do not drench it. If you drench it, it will do the opposite effect, and it will not make your print stick if it doesn't dry. And to wash it off, I don't ever wash it off, but I guess essentially you could use rubbing alcohol. Normally after a lot of prints, if it starts to build up, I'll use something like this, and I'll just literally scrape, and it'll scrape it off into, well, you can actually see some shit scraping off right now. But yeah, it'll scrape off if you just scrape it like that. But that's really it. So. Couple more. Just one question before you go. Can you print faster than 55 millimeters? No. With this printer, I have not printed above 50. Typically, 45 to 50 is what I print at speed-wise. I've heard that anything higher than that and your steppers will skip, and so I have not tried. Which makes sense. I mean, I saw a video of a guy replacing the stepper motor, and they're not like truly full high-end NEMA 17s, which I'm sure is how they get the cost so, low. So yeah, I don't recommend. If you can go higher and you're able to get it work, great. But yeah, when I've gone faster, it just doesn't turn out really good. And yeah, the glass does go on top of the printer. But I mean, this one doesn't need it if you buy it. It's aluminum, so you can just use the aluminum. It's fine. But I might upgrade it to glass just because the aluminum might bend over time while the glass will stay solid piece of glass. So, and Machop, yeah, says using a wet warm rag or paper towel to clean off the hairspray. Yeah, that would work perfectly fine. So, anyways, guys, once again, thank you all so much for hanging out. I know it was kind of a quicker stream today, but it still was like 2 hours, so it really wasn't super quick. Last stream was just really long, and again, like today I've got some more stuff I got to get done, so I'm kind of going to cut it close so that way I can get you all a YouTube video. Hopefully it'll be uploaded. I don't know if I'll do it tonight or tomorrow or Monday, but there's one coming that's pretty cool. And yeah, on that note, I will see you guys all later. Have a fantastic weekend. If you're watching the Super Bowl, have fun watching the Super Bowl. Yeah, good luck with everything, and hope you guys all have a good week, and I will see you later on. This has been Daniel from Modbot, and I am out. Peace, guys.